Hello, my name is Matt St. John, naturopath and founder of St. John's Nutrition in Oxford, Alabama. Today we're going to be discussing the amazing and life-changing medicine of the Amazon. Let's discuss where is the Amazon jungle, where is the Amazon River, and what is the difference between the two. Now, if you notice that the Amazon jungle has a huge area shaded in green, and the area reaches Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, the Guianas, as well as Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador. The Amazon River forms from the Andes Mountains and joins the Ucayali and the Maranon rivers just south of Iquitos, Peru. Our particular favorite area of the Amazon, and the one that we're investing in heavily, is the area just south of Iquitos, Peru. The Amazon is the world's largest rainforest. It's also the ancestral home of 1 million indigenous people. They're divided into 400 tribes, each with its own language, culture, and territory. The only area on Earth with more indigenous people is China. The Amazon is also home to as many as 80,000 plant species, from which more than 40,000 species play a critical role in regulating the global climate and sustaining the local water cycle. Let's begin looking at the plants of the Amazon, their history, and their current uses. While you have most likely heard of its berries, you likely have not seen the root system of the acai palm. The root is used for kidney health and as a diuretic, and if you notice, the roots are designed to survive the harsh, rainy seasons of the Amazon. Acai berries are small, dark-colored berries. They look a lot like blueberries that come from the acai palm, which primarily grows in the Amazon area of South America. In addition to containing natural sugars and fiber, acai berries also have higher healthy fat content than most berries, and this helps them keep a high level of satiety. The acai berry also has a shorter shelf life than other similar fruits, which means it can't be transported in its freshest state to other areas or countries outside of where it's grown. Now, this means that unless you visited the Amazon region, you've likely only eaten acai as a fruit puree or maybe a freeze-dried powder form. It can spoil in a day and it's hard to transport. Acai has become extremely popular in the United States as a soft-serve style snack or a refreshing beverage. But what is acai's purpose in its native region? Well, since before recorded history, acai berries have been an essential part of the diets of indigenous tribes in the Amazon region of South America. In fact, acai may make up as much as 25% of the daily food intake of an indigenous person in the area. Acai berries are hard and difficult to eat straight off the tree, even if they're completely ripe. So to make them easier to consume, indigenous Amazon tribes will soak them in water until the tough skin becomes soft and then mash them up to create a paste. Here we have a study that discusses the effects of supplementation with acai berry-based juice blends on the blood antioxidant defense capacity and lipid profile in junior hurdlers. It discusses where a marked increase in the total antioxidant capacity of plasma, attenuation of exercise-induced muscle damage, and a substantial improvement of serum lipid profiles was seen. Now, if it's good for junior hurdlers, I bet it's good for grandma. Acai berries' biological effects include it being an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, a cardioprotective, and neuroprotective, as well as improving dyslipidemia and obesity. Acai berries have also been found to contain resveratrol. Resveratrol and its analogs have potent biological properties such as being an anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, anti-carcinogenic, and helping with anti-mutagenic activities in the body. You may not have heard of something called cinchona, but you have heard of what it contains. Cinchona bark contains quinine, famously used for its treatment of malaria and now COVID-19. More traditionally, it's used to treat blood and cardiac disorders, digestive problems, and muscle spasms. With regard to the choice among several anti-malarial drugs then available for curative or prophylactic mass treatment, the Commission ranked quinine first because of its clinical effectiveness, almost complete absence of serious toxicity, and the widespread knowledge of its use and dosage. Some of the main uses of quinine are to treat malaria, kill parasites, reduce fever, regulate heartbeat, stimulate digestion, kill germs, reduce spasms, and to kill insects. Other actions are to relieve pain, kill bacteria, kill fungus, dry secretion, and calm the nerves. Cinchona is a very, very valuable medicinal plant still used quite often in the Peruvian rainforest and in the Amazon region. Now, there's a neat story that discusses an indigenous person about 100 or 200 years ago who was running a high fever and decided to take a swim in a pond. The pond had a tree that had fallen into the pond. He jumps into the pond, gets a little bit of water in his mouth, accidentally takes a swallow, like a lot of people do when they jump in the water. And before he gets out, notices that he feels much better, even beyond what he felt like was reduced with the temperature with the water. So he goes to the medicine man of his village, and the medicine man researches and finds that the tree is a cinchona tree. That man found the first tea of cinchona ever recorded. Let's discuss MATICO leaves. The colorful flowers of the MATICO plant are eye-catching, but it's the leaves that hold their true benefit. Amazon residents have long used MATICO for muscle pain, sore throats, and other common ailments. Folks often boil the leaves in a tea to help with inflammation, body aches, or coughs. Researchers have confirmed the ways that Amazon people use MATICO, finding that it has an analgesic and anti-inflammatory property and can help to quickly heal scars or wounds. This study discusses MATICO leaves in cardiovascular disease prevention. This article in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology discusses MATICO's uses for pain. Another very popular Peruvian botanical is Una de Gato, or cat's claw. The tall vines of Una de Gato curve upwards around the tree trunks with tiny twisted green thorns under the leaves, giving rise to the plant's name, cat's claw in English. Amazon people use Una de Gato's roots as a cure-all medicine for everything from rheumatism pain to toothaches, from deep injuries to ulcers, and as an aphrodisiac. Today, Una de Gato is a popular herbal supplement, and scientists have begun to study the root. So far, they've discovered that the plant can help regulate the immune system, has anti-inflammatory properties, and fights viruses and bacteria as well. In this study from the National Institutes of Health, we see that Una de Gato, or cat's claw, is a promising herbal medicine against SARS-CoV-2. We have been using cat's claw in many herbal formulas for the past 30 years at St. John's Nutrition, including in our Doctor's Immune Forte product that was specifically designed for COVID in 2020. In this study, we see the anti-inflammatory actions of cat's claw and that they're due to the suppression of NF-κB activation and inhibition of gene expression. Another botanical very popular in the Peruvian rainforest is CHANCA. CHANCA has been shown to maintain liver health, help the body to detoxify, improves digestion, acts as an antioxidant, and is useful against kidney stones. It's also known as a stone breaker. CHANCA has been traditionally used in Peru and in the Amazon rainforest to treat kidney stones and gallstones. Modern studies show that it has powerful benefits dealing with stomach ulcers, Hep B, liver health, balancing blood glucose levels, lowering blood pressure, and LDL cholesterol. In this study regarding CHANCA and kidney stones, we find that CHANCA is safe and does not cause significant adverse effects on serum metabolic parameters. It increases the urinary excretion of magnesium and potassium and causes significant decrease in urinary oxalate and uric acid in patients. The consumption of CHANCA contributed to the elimination of urinary calcium. CHANCA has been shown to possess hepatoprotective, antiviral, antibacterial, analgesic, anti-inflammatory, cardioprotective benefits through its novel bioactive compounds. Another Amazonian botanical that you'll see at all of the markets is chichihuasi. One of the most popular and enduring uses of this herb is as a remedy for arthritis and pain and swelling associated with rheumatism. In Peruvian herbal medicine systems, chichihuasi alcohol extracts are used to treat osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. Sometimes it's referred to as Brazilian ginseng. Chichihuasi is classed as an adaptogen, a special class of herbs that help to balance, restore, and protect the body from external stressors ranging from extremes in temperature to colds, infections, trauma, and stress. Chichihuasi is a powerful vasodilator and improves blood flow to the pelvic area and reproductive organs. To this day, many Amazonian people drink a shot of chichihuasi tonic each morning to promote stamina, sexual function, and libido. The ability of chichihuasi to function as an adaptogen makes it effective to tone, balance, and strengthen female hormonal systems. It's an aminogogue, menstrual stimulant, and can bring regularity to irregular periods. It can also be used to ease menstrual pains and cramps due to its muscle relaxant properties. Now we'll discuss sananga, which is a tea commonly made from the roots and bark of a shrub which is found in Brazil and other South American countries. The bark and the root is ground into a very fine powder and then extracted into a juice. This sacred and powerful medicine is used to treat and prevent ocular diseases such as glaucoma, cataracts, farsightedness, nearsightedness, and even blindness. Sananga is mostly utilized by tribes found in the Amazon region, and some tribes in the Amazon use sananga to sharpen their night vision while hunting. However, sananga does a lot more than that. This powerful eye drop has a healing power that is more spiritual than physical and has a capacity to increase insight in the minds of those who use it. Sananga is commonly used in preparation for ayahuasca ceremonies due to its capacity to increase visual perception, enhance colors, and to remove unwanted energy. Sananga eye drops cause an intense burning sensation that typically lasts 5 to 10 minutes. Apparently, the pain is an important part of the healing process. Let me tell you, it is a very intense pain, but once you use the sananga, typically you immediately feel improvements in your vision. The benefits of sananga are multifaceted. Studies have shown that it's an antimicrobial, helping in treating skin infections because of its antimicrobial properties. It's an antifungal and effective in preventing fungal growth. It's an antioxidant, helping with playing a critical role in preventing age-related ocular problems. It's also an anti-inflammatory, used in treating arthritis, and it has anti-cancer and cancer-killing effects. The active principle of sananga is ibogaine, which is a psychoactive alkaloid and mild stimulant in small doses, but it can induce a profound psychedelic state when used in larger doses. Here we have mention of scientific studies hinting at how sananga eye drops treat ocular diseases, and also anti-inflammatory and antioxidant activity of plants used in traditional medicine in Ecuador, where it mentions sananga. When discussing Amazon herbs, in particular in Peru, you have to mention coca leaves. The coca leaf has been entrenched in every part of Peruvian culture for as long as people have lived in this region of the world. It's part of religious and spiritual ceremonies, business transactions, and family celebrations. During the rule of the Topa Inca, the coca leaf was considered so sacred it could only be cultivated by the highest and most favored classes. After the Spanish conquest, many traditional uses of the coca leaf were replaced with more utilitarian uses, specifically the plant's ability to take away fatigue and to ease hard labor. This change may have originally been encouraged by Spanish missionaries. Much later, a 1940 decree declared coca a basic article, an everyday necessity, and it was required that coca be available and sold in all of Peru's mining and railroad towns. Mate de coca, an herbal tea made with coca leaves, is a very common drink in Peru. The look and taste of mate de coca is similar to green tea, slightly bitter with a hint of sweetness. The other way to consume coca leaves is by chewing. Medicinally, coca leaves are used to boost energy, to take away headaches, fatigue, thirst, and is commonly used to prevent the symptoms of altitude sickness. It's common for travelers to be greeted at their hotels with a hot cup of coca tea. In addition, many women chew the leaves during childbirth to speed the birth process alone, to induce strength and to reduce pain. In this study, it discusses that coca appears to be a useful treatment for various gastrointestinal ailments, motion sickness, laryngeal fatigue. It can also be an adjunct in programs of weight reduction and physical fitness and may be a fast-acting antidepressant. It's of value in treating dependence on stronger stimulants. Coca regulates carbohydrate metabolism in a unique way and may provide a new therapeutic approach to hypoglycemia and diabetes. With low-dose chronic administration, it appears to normalize body functions. In leaf form, coca does not produce toxicity or dependence. Coca can be administered as a chewing gum or lozenge containing a whole extract of the leaf, including alkaloids, natural flavors, and nutrients. When you go to the airport in Lima, you'll find many candies, toffees, and teas that will have coca leaves. Matter of fact, we had coca tea just about 7 days ago at the airport, and I noticed an immediate antidepressant effect, a lot different than coffee or another major stimulant. And of course, there's the controversy. Does Coca-Cola contain cocaine? Does Coca-Cola contain coca leaf? Did Coca-Cola ever contain cocaine? Let's learn together. Here in this picture, you see a nondescript plant in New Jersey that is actually a factory that imports cocaine from Peru and it flavors Coca-Cola thanks to a convenient arrangement that they have with the United States DEA. In fact, even today, Coca-Cola produces as much as $2 billion worth of pure cocaine every year in its secretive New Jersey factory, all thanks to its iconic recipe and a very special arrangement with the DEA. The New Jersey plant receives up to 500 metric tons of coca leaves per year from Peru. No other company in the United States is allowed to import coca and make cocaine. And after decocainizing the leaves for syrup, the narcotic is sold on to pharmaceutical companies and hospitals. But where does the coca leaf extract go? Well, it goes right into your Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola still today uses coca leaf extract, and it's the only company in the United States with permission from the DEA to use coca leaf extract in their products. I was introduced to something called RAPE in the middle of the streets of Berlin in Iquitos, Peru, as a shaman used a pipe to blow this particular snuff up my nose right on the street corner. We had just actually met the mayor of Iquitos a few minutes beforehand. What is RAPE? Well, RAPE is shamanic snuff. It contains Nicotiana rustica, which is a type of tobacco also known as mapacho. It's different from the tobacco that's used in cigarettes, which is Nicotiana tobacco. Although it contains tobacco, you don't want to smoke RAPE. Instead, it's administered into your nose. You don't want to smoke it because it also contains other medicinal and sacred plants, including parts from tree barks, leaves, seeds, and various plants. Once collected, the components become pulverized with a pestle and strained through a mesh. When RAPE enters your nose, it immediately permeates through your mucous membranes into your bloodstream. The constituents attach to nicotine receptors, resulting in increased production of dopamine, acetylcholine, and epinephrine. These chemical processes cause the person to feel relaxed and calm, yet aware and alert. It happens quickly and often feels like a jolt, yet it typically doesn't cause anxiety or fear, even on the streets of Berlin. Why use RAPE? Well, RAPE brings you to a place of acute attention and awareness. The mind becomes quieter, negativity clears out, and emotional tensions release. It's shown to be effective for inflammation and for pain, and there are many recipes for RAPE, although they can all contain mapacho. Depending on what other herbs, roots, barks, and seeds are included will change the benefits that you have. Here's Fernando, a shaman in Berlin, the Berlin district of Iquitos, Peru, blowing RAPE up my nose as others walk by. You notice my hat is still on my head. When he applied the second dose in the other nostril, I'm pretty sure my baseball cap left my head. Meet Cambo. This is Cambo, my Cambo frog. It's also known as frog medicine. Cambo is a very unique medicine in the Amazon jungle. It's the venomous secretion of the giant leaf or monkey frog, a bright green tree frog native to the Amazon basin. It can be found in the Amazon rainforest of South America and the regions of northern Brazil, eastern Peru, southeastern Colombia, and in parts of Venezuela, Bolivia, and the Guineas. In many regions outside of Brazil, both the frog and its secretion are known as sapo or toad. Giant monkey frogs have a distinctive song that can be followed to collect them at night. The frog is tied by the legs and stressed a little bit to induce the secretion, a waxy substance that's scraped onto wooden splinters from the back of the legs of the frog. Once this dries, Cambo can be stored for upwards of a year without losing its potency. For use, it's mixed with saliva and is applied directly to specially made skin burns. Now, this frog does not look comfortable, but it was in no pain and was not traumatized whatsoever. Basically, they string the frog up as you see. They tickle the nose of the frog with a little leaf or a stem, and the frog secretes the poison, and this poison is scraped onto that stick. To prepare Cambo, the dried resin is combined with saliva to form a paste-like green mustard. It's then divided into dots for application. Small points, roughly 1/8 inch diameter, are burned through the top layer of the skin with a smoldering piece of titica vine, a twig, or an incense stick. Now, once the skin has been removed from the burns, as painlessly as from a blister, the Cambo dots are applied. Aided by Cambo's vasodilating peptides and pro-inflammatory agents, they're absorbed into the bloodstream within seconds. Research conducted since the 80s has shown the chemical makeup of Cambo to contain short chains of amino acid known as peptides that affect gastrointestinal muscles and blood circulation, as well as stimulate the adrenal cortex and pituitary gland in the brain. The properties of Cambo peptides suggest that it may be a promising treatment for the following conditions: depression, migraines, blood circulation problems, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, vascular insufficiency, organ diseases, cancer, fertility problems, deeply rooted toxins, chronic pain, addiction to opiate or prescription painkillers, as Cambo reduces physical pain, thus helping people kick their addictions to other painkillers, and fevers and infections. When I had Cambo applied, my wife actually contracted malaria from that particular visit to the Amazon, and I had no problem whatsoever when I got back. They consider Cambo to be a vaccine of sorts against malaria as well as other jungle problems. This is me laying in the bottom of a boat that was floating in the Amazon River while having a Cambo session. My hands are on my stomach because I could actually feel physiologically my stomach, my gut moving during the session. The indigenous uses of Cambo, also known as the jungle vaccine, are for bad luck. They believe that it increases their speed and energy during hunting, and that makes the hunter invisible by temporarily eliminating their human odor. Malaria, for snake bites, for fevers, for infections, for fertility problems, to cleanse, detox, and strengthen the mind and the body, to increase energy and stamina, to reduce pain, and to also pinpoint issues in the body. They call it the jungle doctor. The active ingredients in Cambo medicine are peptides that are found in the frog secretions, including dermorphin and deltorphin. These peptides do many activities, such as binding to opioid receptors. There are vasodilators. There's dermosepsin, which exhibits antimicrobial properties in vitro. Various other substances include the adrenoregulin are also present. This is an interesting study showing that bone pain in rat bone cancer pain models was actually helped tremendously by deltorphin 2, one of the peptides found in Cambo. No discussion of Amazon medicine would be complete without a thorough discussion of ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is also known as yage, a Quechua word meaning vine of the souls. It's an entheogenic tea that indigenous groups in the Amazon basin have used sacramentally for millennia. Most commonly, it's made from the DMT-containing shrub Psychotroia viridis, known as chacruna, and the Banisteriopsis caapi vine. B. caapi acts as an MAOI, rendering the DMT and P. viridis orally active. The indigenous people of the Amazonian Peru have traditionally used ayahuasca for healing, spiritual transformation, and to attain peak spiritual experiences. Historically, ayahuasqueros have claimed that they received instructions on how to make ayahuasca directly from God. The constituents of ayahuasca are harmine, harmaline, and tetrahydroharmaline. The concentration of the alkaloids in brewed ayahuasca tea is several times greater than the plants from which they're prepared. In a 200 milliliter dose, there's an average of 30 milligrams of harmine, 10 milligrams of tetrahydroharmine, and 25 milligrams of DMT, though concentrations are going to vary depending on the geographical region and the preparation methods. Ayahuasca is notorious for causing diarrhea and vomiting, which could be a contributing factor to the brew's healing capabilities. Researchers believe that entheogenic plants might change your mind by changing your gut. An imbalanced gut microbiome has been linked to several physiological disorders and psychological disorders, including autism, anxiety, and depression, the same issues for which psychedelics are increasingly thought to be a treatment. An herb that can help repair damaged DNA? Yes. This first ever study looks at ayahuasca's impact on DNA expression, showing that the psychedelic ayahuasca heals traumatic memories via the sigma-1 receptor. Here we're shown where ayahuasca retreat participants showed improvements in depression and anxiety scores that persisted through the 6-month check-in, a result consistent with past research on psychedelics and mental health and the researchers' expectations. What was new was the finding of a correlation between decreases in measures of participant depression and increased signs of epigenetic regulation of the sigma-1 gene, which provides the genetic code for making the non-opioid sigma-1 receptor. The sigma-1 receptor has been associated with mental health conditions such as depression and dementia, and agonists such as Prozac and even simple ammonium salts have been shown to have antidepressant activity in rodents. This study looks at treatment-resistant depression, and the observation is that significant antidepressant effects of ayahuasca were found when compared with placebo at all time points. Here we see where ayahuasca use is associated with greatly improved anxiety and depression symptoms in a large international study. In this study from the National Library of Medicine, we look at social anxiety and that ayahuasca improves self-perception of speech performance in subjects with social anxiety disorder. This study looks at the curious link between psychedelics and improved heart health. As recently as in early 2021, an analysis of the United States National Survey of Drug Use and Health found that those who had tried an entheogenic at least once in their life had higher odds of greater self-reported overall health and lower odds of being overweight. What's more, these respondents had lower odds of having a heart condition like high blood pressure in the past year. Between 2005 and 2014, analysis found that those who had tried an entheogenic at least once in their life had lower odds of heart disease and lower odds of diabetes in the previous year. Here we see that ayahuasca samples showed a great healing potential, which can be seen in the microscopic images collected. After performing the PAMPA assay with the extracts, it was also possible to verify that they did not show cytotoxicity and the integrity of the cell monolayer remained unchanged. This suggests that most samples do not interfere with the intracellular junctions. This is in describing wound healing and ayahuasca's ability to aid in wound healing. In discussing ayahuasca for addiction, this conclusion was drawn in this study. This form of ayahuasca-assisted therapy appears to be associated with statistically significant improvements in several factors related to problematic substance use among a rural Aboriginal population. These findings suggest participants may have experienced positive psychological and behavioral changes in response to this therapeutic approach, and that more rigorous research of ayahuasca-assisted therapy for problematic substance use is warranted. This is an exploratory study of experiences with conventional eating disorder treatment and ceremonial ayahuasca for the healing of eating disorders. The results were found that participant reports were organized with key themes, including that ayahuasca led to rapid reductions in eating disorder thoughts and symptoms, allowed for the healing of the perceived root of the eating disorder, helped to process painful feelings and memories, supported the internalization of greater self-love and self-acceptance, and catalyzed spiritual elements of healing. At least 9 case reports regarding the use of ayahuasca in the treatment of prostate, brain, ovarian, uterine, stomach, breast, and colon cancers were found. Particular attention is given to ayahuasca's pharmacologic effects through the activity of the DMT at the intracellular sigma-1 receptors. The effects of other components of ayahuasca, such as harmine, tetrahydroharmine, and harmaline, are also considered. This illustration discusses the hypothetical anti-tumoral therapeutic effects of ayahuasca. This article discusses a study from Madrid discussing ayahuasca tea being a powerful hallucinogenic drink used in Native American ceremonies, emerging as a strong natural treatment for mental illnesses and neurological problems like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. For a long time, scientists believed that no new neurons are born in the brains of adults, meaning that when our existing brain cells become damaged or die, they're not replaced. However, it was later discovered that neurogenesis, meaning the creation of new neurons, does in fact occur in the hippocampus, a brain region associated with memory. Unfortunately, the rate of neurogenesis is not always sufficient to replace all of our damaged neurons as we age, which is why many people suffer from dementia and other age-related cognitive deficiencies. Fortunately, a new study conducted by the Beckley St. Paul research program and published by the journal Scientific Reports reveals that certain compounds present in the psychedelic Amazon brew ayahuasca actually stimulates the birth of new neurons. Here we have a control when only salty water, saline, is added to the cell cultures. The nuclei of the stem cells can be seen in the blue. These stem cells have been treated with saline for several days, and only a few have developed into young neurons, the few green spots in the image. This image shows the results after several days of treatment with just harmine. Blue is still present because it's the marker of the cell nuclei, but look at the green. The green is young neurons. The red stains are mature neurons. Look at the new activity. Now look at those beautiful young neurons in the green. The third image shows the results obtained after several days of treatment with tetrahydroharmine. The meaning of the colors is still the same. For those unable to get to the Amazon rainforest, find a shaman and spend 4 hours hallucinating and vomiting and having diarrhea with a strong, potent entheogenic tea, there are options. Microdosing is the act of consuming subperpetual or unnoticeable amounts of a psychedelic substance. Many individuals who have integrated microdosing ayahuasca into their weekly routine report the alleviation of depression and anxiety, insights into aspects of daily life, lower stress levels, higher awareness, greater presence, compassion, satisfaction, peace, as well as other positive changes. Though macrodoses of ayahuasca are more commonly known, shamans have a history of microdosing the substance. For most people, morning is the best time because the beneficial effects will last throughout the day without interfering with sleep. It's also helpful to take daily notes in a journal to observe the effects throughout this process and to adjust accordingly, or just notice the positive changes. It's also important to follow your usual routine while microdosing. The purpose is to enhance your day-to-day existence by integrating microdoses into your routine, so don't change what you normally do. Let's discuss the legalities of ayahuasca. As you could imagine, this potent tea is something that many drug companies do not want you to use, as well as even governments. So when looking at the legality of ayahuasca, we see here clearly that in Denmark it's illegal, in France it's illegal, in Germany it's illegal, in Ireland it's illegal, in Italy it's illegal. Ayahuasca is also illegal in the Netherlands, where almost anything is legal. It is illegal in Norway, it's illegal in Sweden, and it's illegal in the United Kingdom. So you know what's next, right? The United States. What's the legality of ayahuasca in the United States? Well, ayahuasca is illegal in the United States unless for religious use. Did you catch that? Unless for religious use. Yes, there have been a few federal cases where ayahuasca was actually allowed to be used by those who had a legitimate ministry who used ayahuasca as a sacrament for spiritual or religious use. Hint, hint. So to find out more about Amazon medicine, contact our ministry, also known as St. John's Nutrition, a 501c3 nonprofit ministry and the only natural products company that is a nonprofit natural products company. Call us at 256-835-9588. Visit our website at stjohnsnutrition.com or follow our Facebook page at St. John's Nutrition on Facebook. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and I hope that you learned as much as we did in making it.